How's it going, everybody? It's Mike from PC Classic Cars, back with another test drive video. Today we are in a 1965 Chevrolet El Camino. This one has a small block 350 backed by a Tremec TKX 5-speed. Got the heat on. It's actually a little cold out here in Texas today, so you hear the blower motor there. Wait for this. All right, so again, we have a 65 Chevrolet El Camino. Truck has a non-original 350 in it, and it runs really well. Backed by a Tremec TKX 5-speed, same 5-speed that's in my Torino. Absolutely love the Tremec TKX. Fantastic transmission. If I could put it behind every single vehicle I own, I would. Just an excellent setup mechanically. Drivability is awesome. Again, motor's got good power. Not a race car by any means, but it's got enough power to pull you down the road. The transmission shifts are all geared really nice. Does have manifolds, dual exhaust, aftermarket style mufflers. Sounds good going down the road, not too loud. Does have lowering springs in the front and the rear. It's a little lower than I would personally like, but I haven't had it bottom out. Doesn't rub. So they actually used good stuff when they lowered it. The ride quality's nice, has a good road feel to it. It's nice and tight going down the road. Power steering, and then it is power disc brakes. It has an aftermarket Willwood master cylinder on it, and then it's got drilled and slotted front Willwood rotors on it as well. So Willwood disc brakes up front and then standard drums on the rear. So the truck does stop nice. On your interior, the interior is very clean, and that's all been basically redone. The carpet's nice, other than right next to the shifter boot. They kind of cut the carpet a little short, so there's like a little spot next to the shifter boot there that's a little bit thin for the carpet. Other than that, it's nice. The mats are in good shape. The door panels look really nice. Then you have your aftermarket AC set up under the dash. And again, if I didn't mention it before, the aftermarket AC and heat both work great. This one does have the classic instruments, white face gauges. All that stuff looks good. It does have a retro style radio. Horn works, and then you do have an aftermarket tilt column as well. Seat cover, sorry I didn't touch on the seat cover. Seat cover is like a custom made bench seat. It's black with the green piping, matches the outside of the car. Unfortunately, I don't know when any of the real work was done on this car, but it does show nice. The interior is actually really clean. And again, the mechanicals are spot on. The car drives really nice. As far as the doesn't work section, a really short list of things not working. The reverse lights aren't coming on when you put this in reverse. Most likely just never hooked it up when they did the 5-speed swap. And then the other item was the washer sprayer fluids don't work. If you've never done a 5-speed swap, even if you're going from a manual transmission to a 5-speed, it is actually a pretty labor intensive and pretty expensive swap. If you're going to buy everything, like if you go to Modern Driveline and buy a pretty much a drop-in ready kit for any one of your cars or anything that you have, they can make you a kit for it, and you're anywhere between $5,000 to really $7,000. So it is an expensive setup. To do the 5-speed and then have a good running 350, you're going to spend a few grand on building a motor, and then vintage AC, you're $4,500 or so to have a shop do it. So they definitely put a lot of money into the mechanicals on this car, and then again, plus adding the Willwood disc brakes up front. They definitely put some money in the mechanicals, like I just said. Clutch feels good. Does have like a highway gear. It's not low geared at all, so you technically don't even really need the 5th gear, but it's there if you need it. Want to hop on the highway and do 75, you can. The underneath is very solid. The floors, frame rails, underneath the bed, everything's good and solid on the bottom side of the pickup. Inside the bed does have an older spray and bed liner. The rear wheel wells do have some dents. You can pop those out and have that fixed if you wanted to, or just replace them. But again, didn't find any current rust issues on the bottom side of the truck. Cosmetically, the paint is older. Originally, it was a beige truck with a fawn interior. I don't know when this green paint was put on the truck, and it does have its fair share of flaws. Walking up to it has a nice shine, but on close inspection, I mean, it's got its fair share of like little imperfections, touch-ups. On the driver's door over here, it's got a little bit of cracking in the paint on the edge of the door. Same thing on the driver's side, rear bed side. There's some imperfections. There's like 2 pretty decent sized cracks in the paint. Again, the paint is serviceable and it shows well. Again, if this truck had really nice paint, I'd be asking quite a bit more money due to the fact of all the mechanicals done to it. But for the way the truck sits and the price point that it's at, I could get past some of the paint flaws that are on it. Walking up to it, like I said before, it still has a good look. But on close inspection, you are going to find some imperfections and flaws, things that could be addressed. Check out our additional infos tab. It's on our website. Click on this vehicle, scroll down below the info. You'll see the 3 tabs. You'll see the test drive video, which is what you're what you are watching. You'll have the walk around video, and then you'll have that additional infos tab there as well. That'll show you all the imperfections that I'm talking about on the paint. Downshift's nice. Clutch feels good. All your glass is in good shape. The windows roll up and down like they should. No issues with any of that. Really no scarring on the side glass. Windshield's got a few little scuffs, but minimal stuff. Nothing to kind of write home about. The wipers do work. Vent windows will open and close. The weather stripping is a little older around the vent glass, but it still looks good. Suspension is obviously a bit lowered, like I talked about before. It's got lowering springs on it. Still has a good ride quality. Sometimes when you lower them, they get a little bit rough. But this one still feels good going down the road. Drives nice and straight. When with those wheelwood discs, it stops well. It's a really fun little El Camino to drive. The 5-speed's a lot of fun. The motor, again, it's not a crazy horsepower setup. Just good for cruising. Has that highway gear already in the rear end, so you don't really need 5th gear. But if you're going to go hop on the highway at 75, 80, you do have 5th gear to cruise without start turning some RPMs. I like the classic instrument gauges. They're really nice and easy to read. The driving position is nice. If you are a bigger individual, it is a smaller steering wheel, and you do have tilt, so if you are a larger person, there is plenty of room to get in and out of this. Sometimes if you get in one of these and it's a fixed column and you have a big old comfort grip steering wheel on there, it's difficult to get in and out. But I'm 6 foot tall for reference and right at 200 pounds, and I get in and out of this thing really easy. But if you're a lot taller than me or a little bit larger, I still don't think you'd have much of a problem driving this, because there is quite a bit of room there. And I'm actually shocked this thing doesn't rub. Being how low it is, I expected it to have some rubbing issues, but with just me driving it, doing that U-turn right there, it didn't rub at all. Clutch has a normal feel to it. Brake pedal, same. The gas pedal has a stiffer, like, spring style. It feels like it's got a stiffer setup on it. Not hard to press. It's just a little bit harder than a factory one. So I don't know if they did something different with the gas pedal, or if it's just a spring. You just have to push it just a little bit harder to get to full throttle. Overall feel, like I was talking about a second ago, the truck has a lot of good mechanical components done to it. If someone wants to take it to the next level, very well could use some paint work to refresh it a little bit, but it still looks good like it sits. Try to not speed on this road here. My police officer hasn't been here the last couple days, but before that he was giving tickets to everybody, so I'm trying to avoid getting a pickup ticket. Excuse me, trying to avoid getting a ticket. I love El Caminos. I always keep 1 or 2 in my inventory. People love them, people hate them, but they always sell. And this one, having the 5-speed and the AC already in it, I thought it was a good one to bring in for my inventory. As always, I appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of my test drive videos. If there's ever anything else you want to see, have comments, concerns, questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to get updates on all the content we're putting out daily. Check us out at pcclassiccars.com, and we will see y'all on the next test drive video. Thanks again for watching.